After Xiao Yan subdued the 3,000 burning flame, how powerful did he become? With just 3 palm strikes, he directly overwhelmed his generation's prodigy, leaving the Grand Elder of the Pill Tower in utter shock. After 8 grueling months, Xiao Yan finally refined the 9th-ranked flame on the Heavenly Flames list, the 3,000 burning flame. Breaking through the seal of the star region, he reappeared before everyone once more. Seeing the slender figure standing at the spatial rift, the 3 elders, especially Xian Kongzi, the president of the Pill Tower, were stunned. Xian Kongzi had personally entered the star region and was well aware of its harsh environment. Even he dared not stay in there for long. Yet Xiao Yan managed to survive there for a full 8 months. Noticing the 3 elders' incredulous expressions, Xiao Yan could only offer a wry smile and shrug. With a light wave of his hand in the void, the intense heat that had been enveloping the Pill City quietly dissipated. Witnessing this, Xian Kongzi's eyes flashed with realization, and he took a deep breath, exclaiming, "I never expected you could actually subdue the 3,000 burning flame." Its stubbornness was something the 3 of us experienced firsthand. Just as Xiao Yan was about to respond with a smile, a white figure suddenly flashed towards him. Before he could react, it was already close. A cool, jade-like hand tightly grasped his arm, and the face, both beautiful and full of joy, had slightly reddened eyes, looking rather endearing. Xiao Yan gently patted little fairy doctor's cool jade-like hand and turned to smile at the Dozun of Fire, who followed closely behind. "I've made you all worry," he said. The Dozun of Fire shook his head with a smile, his eyes scanning Xiao Yan and revealing a hint of amazement. He could sense that Xiao Yan's strength had now reached the level of a 9-star Dozong, an increase of 5 stars since before entering the star region. Knowing Xiao Yan's combat prowess, the Dozun of Fire was well aware that with his current abilities, Xiao Yan could even contend with some Dozun powerhouses. Despite his astonishment, the Dozun of Fire couldn't help but glance at little fairy doctor. During this period, it was she who had been most worried about Xiao Yan. If not for Xian Kongzi and the others' interference, she might have entered the star region herself. Hearing this, Xiao Yan looked again at the much thinner little fairy doctor, a complex emotion rising in his heart. The hardest debt to repay in this world is a beauty's kindness. Little fairy doctor had followed him from the Yuewen Empire to the Central Plains without a word of complaint. Although he had helped her resolve the crisis of the woeful poison body, it still couldn't repay the deep affection of her companionship. Sensing the change in Xiao Yan's gaze, little fairy doctor grew flustered like a startled deer, releasing his hand and softly saying, "Everyone was very worried about you. Don't do such dangerous things in the future." Xiao Yan nodded with a smile, composed his emotions, and looked into the distance. The sight of the Pill Tower elders standing vigilantly made him chuckle. He quickly cupped his hands in apology towards Xian Kongzi and the others. Seeing this, Xian Kongzi waved his hand and said with a smile, "As long as you're safe, it's all good. I've had quite a hard time dealing with Xiani these days. In the future, when Elder Pill is freed, he will certainly cause trouble." Hearing Elder Pill's name, a cold glint flashed in Xiao Yan's eyes. Now that he had successfully obtained the 3,000 burning flame, it was time to rescue his teacher from the Soul Hall. Seeing Xiao Yan's cold expression, Xiani seemed to understand what was on his mind and grew serious. Recently gathered clues from the Pill Tower revealed that Elder Pill, previously held in the western region's Nether City, had been secretly moved. Although the current location of Elder Pill's imprisonment was still unknown, with the clues they had and the Pill Tower's intelligence capabilities, they were confident they would soon pinpoint the exact location. After all, every action and word from the 3 of them represented the entire Pill Tower. Any move they made would openly declare war on the Soul Hall. Xiao Yan was well aware of the massive consequences of a battle between these 2 powers. Finding out where Elder Pill was being held was help enough. After expressing his gratitude, Xiao Yan raised his hand, and a jade slip appeared. This was the communication token given to him by the Dozun of Wind before his departure. It was time to call him. Taking a deep breath, Xiao Yan's dark eyes filled with killing intent, causing the jade slip in his hand to shatter with a crack. Once the Dozun of Wind arrived at the Pill Tower, they could attack the Soul Hall and rescue Elder Pill. However, This process would take several days. Suppressing his excitement, Xiao Yan bid farewell to Xin Kongzi and the others, returning to his room with Little Fairy Doctor and the Dozun of Fire. As he lazily sat on a wooden chair, his gaze swept over Little Fairy Doctor, revealing a hint of surprise in his eyes. She had reached the peak of 3-star Dozun. If she fully unlocked the woeful poison body, she might even be able to contend with the master of Ice River Valley. The Dozun of Fire, standing nearby, was also delighted. He knew well how difficult it was to advance at the Dozun level. It wasn't uncommon for someone to spend 10 or even 100 years without making significant progress. Moreover, with his current borrowed body, it seemed impossible to regain his former 5-star Dozun level in this lifetime. Seeing the envy in the Dozun of Fire's eyes, Xiao Yan lightly tapped his fingers on the table and, after a moment of contemplation, smiled and asked, "Elder Fire, have you ever heard of a pill called the Polyporous Azure Pill?" The Dozun of Fire's dry hand tightened around his teacup, and the bitterness in his eyes was replaced by sudden excitement. Polyporous Azure Pill? The one rumored to restore someone's degraded strength to its peak. Hearing the Dozun of Fire's excited words, Xiao Yan shook his head with a wry smile. The miracle effect of returning to peak strength was just a rumor. However, based on his calculations, consuming this pill should help the Dozun of Fire recover to a 3-star Dozun. The Dozun of Fire wasn't disappointed by the truth. Given his current state, leaping from the peak of 1-star Dozun to 3-star Dozun was already extraordinary. A few years ago, he was on the verge of death in the magma world beneath the Jianan Academy, entirely dependent on the young man before him. Especially upon learning that Xiao Yan was willing to refine this extremely complex 8th-tier pill for him, the Dozun of Fire opened his mouth to say something, but the words of courtesy circled in his mouth and were swallowed back down. Nodding, he said in a deep voice, "Great kindness cannot be expressed in words. This gratitude, I will always remember." Seeing the special look on the Dozun of Fire's face, Xiao Yan smiled, stood up, and headed towards his room. It was necessary to make thorough preparations before rescuing Elder Pill. With this thought in mind, Xiao Yan raised his hand and summoned the scroll left by Sooner, which contained the training methods for the Earth-Covering Seal, Heaven Sealing Seal, and Ancient Emperor's Seal from the Imperial Seal Mantra. Given his current strength, training the Earth-Covering Seal should be manageable, but the Heaven Sealing Seal would be somewhat challenging. However, with more time, he should be able to master it. As for the final Ancient Emperor's Seal, it was out of reach. According to the scroll, even within the Ancient Clan, few could successfully train in the Ancient Emperor's Seal, highlighting its difficulty. Nevertheless, Xiao Yan wasn't greedy. Mastering the first 2 seals would already provide excellent means of self-preservation. Taking a deep breath, Xiao Yan sat cross-legged and began forming complex hand seals. After 7 days of relentless training, he was suddenly interrupted by Little Fairy Doctor. Initially, he thought the Pill Tower had gathered information about Elder Pill, but Little Fairy Doctor informed him that the mysterious Abyss Sect's young master, Chan Xian, along with 2 elder attendants, had gone missing in the Pill Realm. Knowing Xiao Yan had previously fought them, the mysterious Abyss Sect directed their anger towards the Pill Tower, frequently demanding an explanation. Now, not only had the sect master, Chen Tianan, come in person, but he had also brought Yi Chun, a genius from the Heavenly Abyss Sect. Yi Chun, as the future leader of one of the 2 great sects in the Central Plains, even the Pill Tower had to show him some respect. However, this leniency only emboldened Yi Chun further, leading him to set up a challenge stage in the Pill Tower, attempting to lure Xiao Yan out. Everyone present was well aware of Yi Chun's notorious reputation as Iazura. Although Xiao Yan possessed formidable skills, they still fell short compared to Yi Chun's fearsome renown. If he accepted the challenge, the outcome could be unpredictable and deadly. The Pill Tower's Grand Elder, Qiu Ling, understood this all too well. Just as he was about to angrily drive Yi Chun away, the space behind him began to distort slightly. A faint, slender figure slowly emerged from the rippling void, causing Qiu Ling to inwardly groan in dismay. Xiao Yan had accepted the challenge from Yi Chun, the future leader of the Heavenly Abyss Sect. However, Qiu Ling's face was clouded with worry. Yichun was the most outstanding disciple of the Heavenly Abyss sect in the past century, a figure even feared by the sect master himself, earning the moniker Yiezhura from the powerful figures of the Central Plains. Yichun's strength was as terrifying as his reputation. The Heavenly Abyss sect's method of training disciples was extremely bloody and brutal. It was said that each generation's true disciples, upon reaching a certain level, would enter the sect's forbidden grounds. There, these brothers in training would have to kill each other. Due to the nature of the Heavenly Abyss sect's techniques, they needed to constantly consume flesh and blood to enhance their power, and the bodies of their fellow disciples would become the ultimate nourishment for the final victor. Yichun was the only one of his generation to emerge alive from the forbidden grounds of the Heavenly Abyss sect. Over the years, he had fought and killed countless powerful opponents on behalf of the sect, and his strength had skyrocketed through these battles. Today, he had become one of the few in the sect's history to reach the pinnacle of Dozong at around 30 years old, and he was even on the verge of stepping into the Dozun level. Of course, Xiao Yan had also heard of Yichun's notorious reputation as Yiezhura. The eerie aura emanating from Yichun confirmed that his fearsome name was well-earned. However, to dominate among the younger generation was another matter entirely. Xiao Yan had encountered many geniuses over the years. Seeing Xiao Yan step forward, Yichun's lips curled into a twisted smile. He stomped his foot on the ground, and a strange force erupted, causing the ground beneath them to tremble violently. In moments, a stone platform about 20 meters wide rose from the ground, stopping half a meter above the ground. With a smile, Yichun said to Xiao Yan, "The boundary is this platform. Whoever steps out loses." Seeing Xiao Yan nod slightly, Yichun's smile grew even wider. His intention was not just to push Xiao Yan off the platform, but to kill him outright. This was to divert Xiao Yan and Qiu Ling's attention. When Yichun fought, he did not stop until he drew blood. Otherwise, the name Yiezhura would be meaningless. As this thought flashed through his mind, Xiao Yan's foot suddenly stomped on the ground, and his figure vanished mysteriously. The spectators gasped in shock, but Xiao Yan stood unmoved in the arena. A moment later, his eyes turned cold, and a powerful kick tore through the air towards a specific spot behind him. Simultaneously, a figure appeared out of nowhere, and an arm raised horizontally to block Xiao Yan's kick. With a loud shout, Yichun transformed his palm into a claw, unleashing a vast amount of blood-red dough qi from within. He intended to kill Xiao Yan as quickly as possible. Grasping Xiao Yan's ankle with his sharp fingers, Yichun's face turned icy as he sneered, "Let's see how your flesh differs from others." Blood-eating, bone-crushing hand. As soon as Yichun spoke, a strange suction force erupted from his palm, causing Xiao Yan's blood to churn uncontrollably. Startled by this sudden development, Xiao Yan quickly activated the 3,000 Lotus Heart Flame, suppressing the chaotic blood while white smoke rose from Yichun's hand, still gripping his ankle. Yichun's face twisted in shock, and he hurriedly withdrew his hand. Glancing down, he saw that his palm was already charred black. If not for his dough qi shielding him, his entire arm might have been melted by the heavenly flame. Suppressing his surprise, Yichun took a deep breath and rapidly changed his hand seals. Blood qi seeped from his body, making him look like a terrifying blood-covered figure. As his dough qi surged, Yichun's smile grew increasingly sinister. He unleashed the blood coagulation technique with confidence, ready to face anyone below the Dozun level. With a resounding thud, Yichun's foot slammed into the ground again. Arm-thick cracks spread swiftly, enveloping the entire stone platform in moments. In the blink of an eye, he appeared before Xiao Yan, his blood-red palm morphing into a claw, aiming straight for Xiao Yan's heart. Xiao Yan glared coldly at Yichun, drenched in the scent of blood. A thunderous roar erupted from his throat. His 9 stars Dozong aura, amplified by the flame mantra and heavenly flames, finally burst forth without reserve. The formidable gust of wind stirred without equal. Yichun, his gaze darkening as he faced Xiao Yan, couldn't help but feel shaken. As far as he knew, just half a year ago, Xiao Yan was merely a 4 or 5 stars Dozong. How had he skyrocketed to 9 stars now? Even compared to himself, there was only a slight difference at this level. More importantly, Despite being roughly a decade older than Xiao Yan and having sacrificed half his life force due to the mysterious techniques of the Heavenly Abyss sect, Yichun had only recently reached the pinnacle of Dozong realm. He had thought that his efforts would bring him the confidence to vie with his peers, only to have it all shattered by Xiao Yan's sudden onslaught. With this realization, Yichun's eyes burned crimson, the murderous intent within almost palpable, causing the blood-red mist around him to swirl rapidly. Eventually, it condensed into a crimson spear in his palm. Simultaneously, a nauseatingly thick scent of blood slowly emanated from Yichun's body, spreading out like an aura of death, daunting and suffocating. A low roar echoed from his throat as Yichun's figure vanished in an instant. The next moment, the space before Xiao Yan was pierced through by the sharp blood spear. Sensing Yichun's attack, Xiao Yan snorted coldly, shifting his footing just enough to evade the spear. Frustrated by the missed strike, Yichun's eyes glowed with even fiercer bloodlust. The spear danced wildly, transforming into a series of blood shadows that enveloped Xiao Yan's vital points. Faced with this torrential assault, silver light flashed under Xiao Yan's feet as he deftly dodged the spear shadows. Yet, amid the ferocious thrusts of the blood spear, a crisp clang suddenly rang out, freezing its movements. It was then that Yichun realized Xiao Yan had halted the spear's tip between two purplish-brown fingers. This maneuver astonished him, momentarily instilling fear that quickly dissipated. Without hesitation, he discarded the blood spear and, with a swift movement, turned into a blood shadow rushing beside Xiao Yan. A dense blood mist surged from his palm. Heavenly Abyss Azura hand. His shout echoed as spatial fluctuations emanated from Yichun's palm, quietly spreading out into dark cracks. The overwhelming aura of slaughter caused everyone present to pale. Those who had dealings with the Heavenly Abyss sect immediately recognized this martial skill, one of their sect's supreme techniques. Faced with such a formidable onslaught, Xiao Yan did not retreat this time. Instead, a faint excitement spread across his face. His hand seals began to change lightning fast. Open mountain seal. Overturning sea seal. A cold shout echoed in his mind as two crystal-clear hand seals appeared successively, slowly merging. Xiao Yan's hand seals continued to change at a dazzling speed. Earth-covering seal. Another light shout sounded in his mind. The brilliant purplish-brown crystal light hand seal appeared and smoothly merged again into the two previous seals. At this moment, the space before Xiao Yan surged, causing small fragments of space to fall from the void. The Imperial Seal Mantra's triple seal fusion. Such mastery was rare even among the ancient clans. Just then, the blood shadow approached with relentless slaughter. Facing Yichun's fierce expression, a chill flashed in Xiao Yan's eyes. The purplish-brown crystal light hand seal silently cut through the space, then lightly collided with the blood-covered hand. With a deafening roar that echoed through the sky, the nearly 20-zhang large stone platform instantly shattered into countless fragments, sending out ripples of terrifying energy that swept all around. Just as the terrifying aura was about to engulf the onlookers, it was quietly dissipated by an unknown soft force from somewhere. However, despite this, some people closer to the stone platform were still shaken and spat blood as they staggered backwards. At the same time, Yichun, covered in blood, was blasted backwards from the explosion's epicenter, sliding dozens of meters on the ground before finally slowing to a stop. On the other side, Xiao Yan's figure slowly emerged, his clothes still neat and tidy. He casually toyed with a blood-red storage ring in his hand. He looked completely unlike someone who had just been through a major battle. The entire scene fell silent at this moment. They could not believe that the Heavenly Abyss sect's Azura would be defeated so thoroughly today.